I know you got dents in your car.
Yeah.
I know you do. And that stuff drives me crazy, man. But there is a place, there are some humans that can fix this for you, and I love these guys. All Pro Dent Removal. They've done work on my car, your car, Andrea's car, multiple cars that we know of.
I had to take on my WRX twice because there are so many dents and scratches in it. There was a lease or whatever. And when they were done with it, it looked brand new.
Amazing.
It looked 100%
And then you
new.
curved the rims again.
Yeah, I know. But that's what they're there for. And Corey, he's been a BDM for a long time, and he'll take care of you.
He did an amazing job on my vehicle on the door panel. It looks amazing, and they specialize in it. They do it for big auto auctions. You know, they clean up cars all day long. They specialize in it.
This is a great gift for your spouse, too, if they've got little dings and dents all over their car.
Dude, I would love that.
Yeah.
If Andrea got me a gift card to them just saying, like, hey, knock out a little shopping cart ding, I would love that in my stocking.
Yep. Also, if there's like hailstorm or some insurance claim, they'll help you take care of it.
Specialize in that as well.
So, again, it's All Pro Paintless Dent Removal. Look them up on Facebook. Me and Daniel have used them. They're a great company, BDM owned. It's All Pro Paintless Dent Removal.
It is another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Sam is here. Butler's here, if that is your names, because, you know, I've been forgetting everything.
Who?
I mean, you could be Katrina. You could be...
I am, in fact, Katrina.
Butler could be Travis Paul Randy. His other name. But hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We do have a special guest. We'll get to that soon, but let's plug some stuff first.
Well, we've got new merch on TomandDan.com. I believe 4 new T-shirts. We've got the collaboration stuff that we did with Villain Clothing Company. That's up for sale. We've got a new hat. A bunch of new stuff on TomandDan.com.
I love the new hat, man. The new hat is amazing. And yeah, snag that now while supplies last. The hat, though, is very limited. Because dome hats, they're upgraded, like, the entire hat is not handmade, but it's custom. And what I mean by that is all the seam taping inside has Tom and Dan on it. All the little labels that you have are all woven Tom and Dan. It's fully custom, which is really, really cool. So we're not able to order as many of those as we would like.
You know, we need to send Tuttle a hammock. I feel like Tuttle is a hammockman.
Yeah, and speaking of Tuttle, he's on the line with us right now. It is Tuttle live from the Hobo Fish Camp in Oak Hill, Florida. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? So, you know, it's not cicada crazy anymore. I can actually do these monthly conversations with you guys outside now. It is a little I
love it.
You know, dreary out here today.
I love it.
For
your audio quality is pristine as usual.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it makes Tom so mad. Like, you are literally floating.
It's like you're standing in a studio.
You're floating in a trash river, and your audio is so clean, and it's so, I cannot tell you how pristine it is.
For people just listening to the audio of this, people are like, oh, Tuttle must be in a studio. He must be sitting on the couch talking through one of your expensive bikes.
No, he's not. He's floating on a milk jug in a river.
And, Tuttle, describe where you're sitting right now.
I am sitting out on the Indian River, which is also called the Mosquito Lagoon. So it is a very, very windy place right now. And you can't even hear the wind with the audio setup that I have with you guys at the moment. Like, I'm sitting outside. It's got to be a brisk 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze coming in. So, yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Tuttle can do it.
It's maddening to me now.
Everybody
it's maddening to me because the thing we're not talking about, because not all of you imbibe, but hey, it's perfect time for me to plug. This is all live on video, and you can watch it. You can watch Tuttle in perfect 1080p, like his video quality and audio quality from his tiny little phone. Do you have the newest phone, or are you working with an old?
I got the iPhone 12 Pro.
That's still a great phone, but it's not like he's working with the latest and greatest, right? And look at how good it is.
Have you guys read anything about, you know, how the older generations love keeping their tech? Did you see where people that have like 3 and even 4G phones, they're not going to work anymore? And remember back when everything went digital and all the old people were like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get my local news anymore over the airwaves.
Yeah. Well, the thing that bothers me is that you'll get a handful of people, Patrick, where they'll go, well, this is an iPhone 6. Everything works just fine. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. You're saying that, but it doesn't work just fine.
It cannot.
It works fine for you. Like, it works. Whatever. Then that means that your level of fine is broken. Like, what you consider fine is wrong. If
you've driven a Dodge Omni all your life, and then somebody gives you a Ferrari and says, take it for a test drive, then you're going to be able to tell the difference of, God, man, this Dodge Omni I've been driving around is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, and maybe there is, and I just don't know about it. I'm surprised there's not a service or a company.
Here, can you guys see the rich boats? A lot of rich a-holes.
Cutting off time mid-sentence.
So I'm surprised there's not a company that you can pay to have someone go to your grandparents' house or some old person that you
beat
know,
'em up.
or your parents, and teach them how to use.
They have that.
They do have that? Okay.
You need that.
No, they absolutely have that, but it's a lot more specialized and I believe a lot more expensive than you think. I have
What
seen
is it, the geriatric squad?
Well, but I've seen it actually at Apple, where you go in
Really?
and back in the day, you'd go to the Genius Bar and there'd be like that one old lady who's taking a Photoshop class. It was excruciating. It was excruciating.
I'm just saying to teach like older people how to use their email or something, and maybe there's going to be a gap where, okay, follow me here. So we're still in the gap where they're
Fall into the gap.
like
Fall into the gap,
80-year-olds and 90-year-olds and 70-year-olds grew up with zero technology, basically, you know what I'm saying? So they had to learn how to even send emails, like, in their 50s or whatever, like 60s.
This is kind of weird, but I believe that my dad... God, this is weird. I think my dad only sent emails for about a 3-year period when he was working for a company that had introduced email.
And then he had to do it.
And then, well, up until that point, they had email, but you could either choose to, you know what I mean? Like, you could almost choose to go, like, no, I'm okay with just paper, doing my paperwork and sending that in, and phone calls. And I think that's what my dad did.
And
Always on the phone, my dad. Always on the phone. A chirper. King chirper, right?
Did he learn how to use GPS on his phone, or it was probably
He had a GPS. Yes, he did have a GPS,
TomTom?
but it was only like a GPS to my father might as well have been a handgun. What I mean by that? Only if you really need it. Only if you're like emergency.
Okay,
it's like we're being attacked. Pull the handgun. It's like we don't know. We've exhausted all other thing. Our maps are wet. GPS, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. GPS was an emergency thing. It wasn't like, I can't function. Don't know where house is. Help me get back to my own house. That's what most people do now.
Do you remember in the old movies where it'd be like the worst thing in the world if him and his wife and maybe the kids were out on vacation, and the worst thing in the world is if he had to stop and ask for direction.
That was the cliche. But my father,
he didn't want to do it.
I remember when my dad, it was like there was this period in my brain. I could be way off on this, and normally with anything, well, you guys were just goofing on my memory. Like, my memory is just horrible, and then I like marijuana, so I'm making it even more horrible. And naturally, I have a bad memory, and I'm like, how can I make this worse? So
it's like Frank Gore boxing.
So, see, I just forgot my point. Perfect example of exactly what I was talking about. There you go. He did it!
Man.
He did it! Big exclamation right on top of it.
That's my fault. I threw you off. I tripped you
How
up.
dare you?
What about all the head injuries I've had on top of smoking marijuana? Like, it's CTE on top of THC. So it's basically like I'm like Daniel. Like, one little thing can squirrel me. You know how a dog will, or a cat will go after a squirrel? Yeah, you get squirreled.
So it was 3 years that my dad would fire off a couple of emails, or they were trying to get him to do emails, and then it was like 1 year and then 2 year, and he's like thinking about retirement, and then he was like, retired, no more, and then it was like they sent back the laptop. It was like at that point when my dad retired, he sent back all of his technology. He's like, well, I'm out of the game. It was like getting out of the military. They're like, you have to give back the uniform, the service revolver, the rifles, your helicopter. Like, and my dad was like,
He
I'm
had
out
a cell
of
phone, though, right? Did he text at all?
No.
No, okay. Yeah.
I always screamed F no. He didn't text. He would take photos of Maggie the dog, which I have.
On his flip phone?
On his flip phone.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, come over here. I took the cutest picture of Maggie with her tongue out. Oh, my
it's
God.
blurry.
Look at her. She's got a tongue out. Oh, look. She's moving in that one. Hold on.
Tuttle, what about your dad? Did he get into anything?
Man, he used to get so mad. Like, the worst thing was that he always carried a gun with him everywhere he went. He had his concealed carry. So, like, I was always worried that Dad would just get so frustrated with his phone, throw it on the ground and put two slugs right into it. Or
pause for 1 second. The chat room chiming in. Just Jen says, my dad will send screenshots of golf clubs he wants from eBay. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Just send the link, Dad. No. I'm sending you a screenshot. You go find it.
Yeah.
Oh, and the worst thing would be if my dad would accidentally call me on FaceTime. Have you guys ever seen that? Like, if your dad called you on FaceTime.
Hold on 1 second. You just heard it live. We're going to have to pull that clip now. Somebody clip that on Twitch. Twitch.tv/TomandDadLive. Yes, sir. You have the floor.
Crystal did text me the other day and say, hey, what was that thing Max wanted for Christmas? And he wanted this VMAX Nerf gun that's like a Gatling gun.
Oh,
because
awesome.
we watched it on YouTube.
The crank one or the battery one? Because they're both awesome.
The crank one.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Anyway.
Show him a screenshot.
I searched, I was like, VMAX Gatling gun. I found it in the screenshot. Just text it to my wife.
Send her the link. It's a little arrow from Amazon. You just click it. In fact,
It says share.
Yeah, it's like share share to buy.
I don't know about any of that.
I don't know about share.
So go ahead, Tuttle.
Oh man.
Well, no, I was talking about my dad sometimes would accidentally FaceTime me, and then all it would be the whole time is just a straight video shot right into his ear canal. You can see all the gray ear hair coming out of the ear and everything, and I'm just like, Dad, you're on FaceTime right now. You don't have to put the ear or just look at the phone.
My mom couldn't do that either.
You know what? It's weird because I don't know what it is with old men and like their frustration with technology because I have it.
Oh, I can feel it coming
Well,
from
it's
me.
because it makes you feel dumb,
Well,
right?
you can't.
But
So
I
then
can
you get
learn
angry.
it though. If someone explained it, like
Well,
yeah,
here's the
if someone
thing.
sat me down and like, this is how you do it, I'm looking, I'm like, I can do it. It's not impossible.
He's fixed things in there before.
I'm mad at it.
But it takes
He gets locked out of his Facebook daily.
But it takes a really long time. There's been a couple times where, like, you've been here and I'm editing a video, and sometimes the videos I'll get stuck in the weeds or something bad, and you'll work for like 2 hours. He'll come out and he's like, "Well, recovered my password." I'm like, "Oh my god," But I'm not immune to it either. I was very naive in thinking that I would be immune to it, and I've always been into tech. Tuttle and I used to stand in line for iPhones, and we're in that world. We enjoy that sort of stuff, but you run out of time, and then it starts compounding,
and then it starts moving so fast.
And I'm even having it where, like Maisie will say something like, "I got to figure this out. I got to read. I got to watch a video about it."
You should have seen me try to buy, or I eventually did it, but cryptocurrency. I almost divorced my wife. I'm not joking because I got so mad. And I was yelling, she was yelling at me, just stop it. You're embarrassing.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Don't do it. And then I was like, I need help.
Life alert.
And then she didn't want to do it because she's like, I don't care. I don't want to do any of that. And then I was like, I'll do it myself. And
so you were forcing her to help you figure it out?
Well, no.
I do that with Andrea.
She was yelling. She's like, I'm not going to help you. I don't want to do it.
I'll do it with video games where I'm like, I don't know how to beat this level. I don't know where to find the energy pellets. And my wife will be like, do you want me to look it up? And I'm like, this is what old people do with video games. And we're not doing that. We're not going to become that.
So, Tuttle, I want to ask you about the Tuttle family Christmas and traditions.
Well, I mean, it's going to just be me and my mom, but
Thanks for bringing it up.
I'm
talking about my go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just I'm
goes
talking
right
about
for the jugular. This guy.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm talking about when you were a kid and what that was about, and like I want to know the Tuttle family traditions as far as a bunch of my friends in Miami. I think this is like a Hispanic thing. They always did their present opening at midnight like on Christmas Eve or whatever. Yeah, that was like that was
that
the thing.
when Daddy Yankee comes?
I don't know. A lot of my friends would open
Mr.
their
305.
They would open their presents on midnight, and that was like their tradition or whatever. And then like everybody's got a different thing. Some people
Creep
have
down the stairs
No
and look, and
bedtimes there.
pit bulls sliding something under the tree.
some people have like huge Christmas dinners and then there's a church element. Like a lot of my friends had to go to. Like,
I did.
Wait a minute. Forgetting about things, didn't you start off with Thanksgiving and now we're on Christmas here, Tom? Like you asked me what my Thanksgiving.
I don't think Thanksgiving, in my world, Thanksgiving really doesn't count. It is just a meal. Like, to me, it's a big meal.
Yeah. Okay, so, but I mean, it doesn't Thanksgiving, the holiday season start with Thanksgiving, though?
I
Like
started with
Thanksgiving.
Halloween now.
It's like the kickoff of Christmas, right? Like that's the big deal.
Yeah.
Although more people are starting earlier. My neighbors down the street, they put up their lights like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Daniel,
half my neighborhood's already decorated.
I've
Daniel
had my-
put up his Christmas tree in June.
No, it was September. But that was only because of my memory. I was like, when do we put
Is it
this up?
Christmas yet?
I was like, I don't know. Just put it up.
Well, I mean, starting out for Thanksgiving with us is that it's funny that you bring that up. Every, I think, 4 years, my birthday falls on Thanksgiving Day. So I remember it happened when I was turning 13, was on Thanksgiving Day, and that was the day that my dad taught me that we only eat what we kill. And if you don't kill anything, you don't get to eat on Thanksgiving.
Hold on. Is that
What?
really
God.
But
Yeah, I'm being dead ass serious. At 13, it's like if you want to eat, you got to kill.
Well, why'd it
If you
change at
want to eat.
13?
well, where were
That's
you?
when you become a man. That's when you start
Man,
getting...
just
you
get
weren't
the
living out-
Winn-Dixie ham.
When you get the
My
sprouts on
birthday
your...
happened to fall on Thanksgiving. So what I'm trying to say is it was a vital life lesson in my life because I was just turning into a teenager on Thanksgiving Day. And my dad woke me up early that morning because my mom always reminds me I was born at 2:34 a.m. after about 32 hours of labor because of my big, humongous head. That my dad is still mad at me about this until he died, that I ruined downstairs for him.
All right.
Oh, my God.
And
You had one job.
What?
You had one job, Patrick. Just don't stretch it out.
so,
Yeah.
your dad wanted you to do what now? Kill your own turkey?
He gave me a very archaic type machete because we had this
Rusted.
turkey
Rusty, yeah.
named Harvey. That Harvey, he became so I don't know. He trusted us so much. The funniest thing that we would get for entertainment is to feed spaghetti to our turkey, Harvey. You haven't lived until you've seen a turkey eat spaghetti and marinara sauce.
Now I want
Like,
to do this. Is there anybody that has a turkey that
Hold
we
on.
can feed spaghetti and marinara to? I'll make the
You
marinara.
think I'm making things
No,
up?
I know you're not making it up because I've
I don't
heard
know.
you
I mean,
reference
this
Harvey
is
before.
insane.
I'd also like to point out
Oh,
that this is a very common thing because Juan, our Twitch manager, we love Juan.
Yeah.
He's in there today. He says, my abuelo did that to me with a lechon when I was 13. I had to go kill the pig. Apparently, this is a thing. I say we do
In
it with
Florida,
you do it with
it's
the bad
either-
boys.
it's either-
When
They
turn
don't even
13.
eat meat.
No, but
So-
make
so-
them
Tom,
kill a
would you-
squash.
Pull the
Tom,
squash.
would you do this with your sons?
Oh,
Or
no,
would
Donald, what are
No.
you? They're vegetarian. They can't. I'm not even joking.
Oh.
They're so soft,
Yeah.
Tuttle. I mean, it's.
So they couldn't kill if they needed to eat?
No child we have could kill if they needed to.
I don't know.
eat.
I'm not
think
even
Maisie
joking.
could.
If you
Maybe, I
if
don't
you
know.
put Tommy in a pen with a full Florida wild turkey,
A boar?
a boar. Forget
Wow,
it. Like
everybody.
a big an adult turkey. I don't know. I mean, I'd put Tommy's chance
spaghetti-eating
50-50. Like a maybe.
Tommy versus a spaghetti eating
Like,
turkey.
maybe with his spindly bird legs, he could kick the
Or
turkey's
maybe the
neck.
turkey would be like, "You're like me.
But-
we both have spindly
I
bird
don't-
legs."
I mean, Tommy's only chance if it starts raining, turkey will look up drones.
oh yeah, then he like
That's what I
wins by
heard.
default. I
Yeah.
love it.
So hold on.
But
so,
no,
okay.
Harvey Harvey, our turkey, would eat spaghetti, and like every once in a while, he'd find a meatball, and that, to see him kind of choke down a meatball while eating spaghetti, it's crazy because the spaghetti would wrap around his head, it would cover his eyes up, and he would like slurp it up like stereotypical wise until he could see again. I had to go out and kill Harvey.
Hold on,
with a machete.
Go back.
Is he still got the marinara stains all over him, his beak and everything? Are you
out? Where are you, Tuttle? Like, where'd you live?
We're in the back 5 acres.
But what city of this? Oak Hill?
In DeLeon Springs.
Oh,
DeLeon Springs.
DeLeon Springs.
Yeah, DeLeon Springs.
So you had
the nightmare before DeLand.
You had some property, and so you had turkeys. One of them, Harvey, that you fed spaghetti. Now
and marinara. That's the key to me. Is I think any bird will eat spaghetti, but when you zhuzh it up with some zesty tomatoes,
it even had Parmesan cheese on it.
Oh yeah, you got to put a little shaky cheese on it.
So
soak up that oil for.
Did your dad and mom get this turkey and fatten it up over the course
garlic bread only?
How long does it take to?
My dad took it to a whole nother level. My dad thought that for me to be able to kill a turkey that I befriended, that I grew up with, would make me a tougher person. So that's why he wanted me to have bonded with this turkey before I killed it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like this because this is so opposite of my sons. Like,
I think it worked.
They'll never have
I don't know. Look where Tuttle is now.
Could your sons live in a hobo fish camp?
Yeah.
No, they could not. One day in the
in
fish camp, they're calling you, come pick me up, this place is crazy.
Let Tuttle babysit your boys.
Yes. There it is. There's the TV show.
I mean, it could be supervised.
I don't know about that because then
they like to fish, right?
So
but they have to bleed the fish as soon as they catch it.
Yeah.
So, I go fishing with my sons. They don't even touch the fish. I'm like, come on, you have to hold it for the picture. They're like, I'll stand by it. And then I'm like holding it. I'm like, oh, why?
Standing by.
Why? One of them hooked its eye, and then Max quit. He's like, I more of this.
I'm not into this.
I'm pulling the fish's eyeball out because I don't know what I'm doing because I'm weak too.
Why are fish so gritty? When that hook's in them and you're trying to get it out, it should just slide out, but it doesn't. It's all like. I'm like, what am I pulling on?
Stuck. I'm pulling its tendon. I'm like, this thing's for sure gone. Or why? I should just stomp its head.
If it didn't have a stupid exoskeleton or scales, it'd be fine.
And then
my dad kept a bat on the boat to stun all the fish.
Oh yeah, you gotta whack them.
So, Tuttle, come. I want to go back to this day. So you're 13.
I'm certified to give a hunter safety course. Would your kids like me to teach them how to shoot and kill wild game?
This sounds amazing. I mean, I could sign Maisie up.
It would be great content.
I could sign Maisie up.
I know it'd be good content.
Do you accept girls? I know that's a recent thing.
Yes.
Okay, I was just checking because I knew up until 2 years ago, Hobo Fish Camp was men only for their
my mom will
classes.
teach Maisie how to gut and skin any animals we harvest.
That's true. I saw Tuttle's mom at the wake reach into the fryer and pull fish out with her bare hands to hand me to eat. She is tough.
My sons
but gentle.
wouldn't even touch the inside of a pumpkin.
Don't say that. Well, let's sign them up.
Anyway,
this is a day class, right? Not a sleepover.
So day class. What do I got going on?
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. We have people that smell good in the studio for once.
Yes.
I had to take the trash out because we had peppercorn dressing wafting through the air vents.
That's embarrassing.
And I took a giant deuce.
Come on, don't even say that.
Don't even bring it up.
Why would you
talk about it? Children's book.
No, they don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it.
I didn't make them talk about it.
I just went to the bathroom.
I didn't take it here. I didn't take it here. I took it to the front yard like a goddamn dog.
Indy's here from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. How you doing, Indy?
It's that time, man.
Hello.
The protective coating has been peeled off the holiday season. We're ready to go. This thing's open, man.
Yep. And with every holiday season, there's some drinking involved. And especially Thanksgiving when you have to hang out with your family.
Andy, what say you? Thanksgiving,
you got to be drunk.
I believe, I could be wrong, but to me, Thanksgiving is more of a custom cocktail, hang with the family, that Thursday night party. That is more party to me than Christmas.
Absolutely.
Christmas is party, but not like Thanksgiving is like turn it. Like
Drinks.
all the drinks.
I come from like a high conflict family, so like drinks have to be involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what a high conflict family means. I don't know what that
I'm
means.
familiar.
It means there's always some type of argument
Oh,
on Thanksgiving. So
I like that.
we've got it. We're like,
Spicy
we can't
fam.
do this. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's most families, like in general, a lot of people don't hang out with their family and then just do it once a year at Thanksgiving,
Yes.
which seems like a recipe for disaster.
Copious amounts of alcohol.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, you're being forced to hang out with people that you chose not to
On
all
a
year.
Thursday. On a Thursday. Well, yeah.
And you're drunk.
Yeah, but that Thursday night, that party, or even that Friday, I've heard that Friday's really the big one for, I believe, bar owners, right?
Wednesday.
Wednesday
It's the
night.
night before.
Wednesday night's the
And then
biggest party
everybody's
night.
hungover on Thanksgiving.
Because you're traveling in, right? You're traveling in that Wednesday to be prepared for Thursday with your folks, and then you go out to, at least I would go out to the old bars that I used to go to in college and stuff like that.
Well, we host my husband and I, we host Thanksgiving.
Whoa.
Oh, really?
Brave.
Oh, yeah.
Brave.
So, and
Brave
then
woman.
we get to, him and I somehow always manage to ruin Thanksgiving, but it's like every other year. So this is our good year for us. This is supposed to be our good year.
How many people do you usually
family?
have? I mean,
It's about 20 something.
Whoa, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of
Because
voices.
it's like friends and friends come over. So then
we don't
just,
allow friends in my Thanksgiving.
Oh, no.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't have any friends.
That's different than not allowed.
That's different. That's different. But if I did have friends, still not allowed.
See, our friends
Good to
say
know.
the Thanksgiving, but for us, it's like, it's always something so dumb that we argue about. It's like, the mashed potatoes weren't creamy enough. And then that just it goes downhill over something really stupid.
Yeah,
It's like-
I already vowed we're smoking a pork butt this year, doing something kind of untraditional. But I already vowed with the wife, I'm like, if this doesn't turn out good, we're already making a plan B, so we already have something to go to if this doesn't, if I mess it up, because there is a high probability that I will do something wrong or not do it long enough or rush the process. So I've already got my plan B, ready to go.
So let's talk about Travis for a second. He's
Travis, he
he's
works
not
with
here.
us. He's not here. He's on
A vacation again.
Yeah, he's doing a quick jaunt to Portland and back in one day.
yeah. And so Travis mentioned that he would like an ABC hat. And he sent that in an email.
Yeah, I think you would like more.
So
my
there's
God.
two Travis stories. One,
Two?
Yeah.
Oh, no. One, he was completely inappropriate.
he asked for, he's like, hey, so ABC or the Humidor, we have these really cool hats that we gave you guys to give out at the event on not this past Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah, sofa totes, the bucket
the
hats.
bucket hat, but it has
Yeah.
a string. It's like an adventure hat.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
hiking hat.
I like that
where
hat.
the Samantha
So
makes fun of me.
I
Yeah,
owe
those are
you guys
good.
some hats. I was in a rush and I forgot to grab them. However, Travis emailed me asking if there were any hats with
Large.
It's just a
large enough for his head.
Yeah.
I did email the company because
Look at this. She's going.
The company's like, this is one size fits all. We've made a huge spectrum of
did.
people. Like a human head, even the biggest we've ever seen, can fit in this.
They did say something similar to that extent. However, I did ask. Don't make
Could
me
you
laugh
make an
'cause then I
exception and put
laugh.
25 extra stitches in?
I was like, well, maybe
Can you put two together?
could we offer? So I wanted to measure his head so I could give them like a better.
You were going to measure his head. Oh, my God. We have to do that live on the air.
Yes.
So Travis does, he can't fit
He doesn't
in
like
any
his
hat.
head touched either.
It's
He-
true.
now-
He does
I don't know
not
if you-
like his head touched.
You knew this, but he does have some sort of extra amount of chromosome where
He's a caveman.
He's got Neanderthal.
He has
Yeah.
the shelf eyebrow.
Right.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you... Bubba
He does.
that.
Yeah, he's got Neanderthal
Yeah.
in his. He took a 23andMe and then
yeah, we're
came
not
back
lying.
Neanderthal.
Like this bone. I don't know what this bone's called.
Brow bone?
But,
Yeah.
but Travis and our buddy
Yeah, the
Bert.
shelf.
Yeah, has and it's almost like your body, right when you were forming as a baby, your body just was like, and grunted out one more little, like, it's almost like your skull has a baseball hat on. It's like a flat brim skull.
yeah. Because Neanderthal eyes are like, me can't see.
Me can't see me skull. Me skull grow over eyes. Keep fire sky monster out of eyes.
Like he needs to be able to look up and see his own head. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So you asked for an extra mega head hat.
Yeah, but I wanted to measure it. Like I wanted to make sure. Like I wanted, like if I'm gonna do something, I want to do it right. So I was like, let me measure
That
his
might
head.
hurt his feelings though if you get around there and you're like 68. That's a lot.
Well, I forgot the measuring tape, but I was like, we could use like toilet paper. You know how like pregnant women
let's
like
roll.
measure
Yes, let's do pregnancy games.
And then you take it back, and then to the embroidery company, and they say,
You ship the toilet paper back, and you're like, this is the size of his head in Charmin. Make it.
But I feel bad making jokes like at his expense, given that he's not here.
No,
However,
he's fine. He's listening.
Yeah.
Hi, Travis.
He's driving.
He's driving. He's listening to Twitch. I have to hear what you're saying.
His wife's screaming, I told you to quit years ago.
So with that being said, I also asked him, like, how many people am I prepping cocktails for? He's like, 4 and you. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever. So I did bring
I
you
thought
guys
it was
a
him being
gift.
disrespectful. He's like, 4 and you. Like, he was calling you foreign. He's being mean. He's being racist, I feel like.
It could have, but he was like 4 plus you, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I did promise you guys some new glassware.
Why are you bringing us gifts? Oh my gosh, you're so
Because
sweet.
it's in the spirits of the holidays. We're kicking up the
well,
holiday
we don't have
season.
anything for you. This is like what I do with my wife when she says we're not doing gifts this year.
I know. My husband just told me we're doing gifts.
Are you doing gifts? And you
I
weren't gonna
didn't want to. I don't like buying people gifts.
He lied,
It's
right?
very uncomfortable.
In the beginning
for
of the year,
me.
my wife lies all the time. She does the thing, we're not doing gifts. And then I'll wake up and I'll have a gift. This is the old cliche comedy sketch.
Is it awkward if I we got you something too, and then I run into the office and then I start rummaging through the
Pulling
drawers
drawers.
as if I'm looking for something to find, and then I come out in a brown paper bag and it's obviously some
open bag of Cheetos.
used.
I love Cheetos, so that would be
There's some
so
in there if you
thankful
want some.
for that. So, long story short, I'm taking his glass if he doesn't.
All right.
Here for today.
Get him.
But yeah, so now you guys have
Thank
the
you.
official fancy smancy.
We got like real
cups.
highball glasses now.
I
Those
like
are
that. I
great.
like the thick glass.
I want something thick enough where if I got angry enough because I didn't get my inheritance, I could throw it at a wall.
Yeah.
How dare you, Daddy!
It also, I mean, if you're angry enough, it won't crash your hand. So
Yeah, you can
No, yeah,
squeeze
yeah,
it
yeah.
hard when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking at the stock market and everything's going.
Yeah.
So
They call that the OJ, by the way. Didn't you say that's how he cut his hand up?
Yeah.
He got so upset. I was like, you just saw that in a movie and said that.
I believe that though. He would be strong enough. He's a strong guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
but
ever see
no
him
one
jump
does
over those luggage? He's fast. So what
sorry.
are we making, or what are you rather making today?
I am making, given that we're all hanging out, I'm going to be making a festive fist. It was appropriate since, you're having a gathering.
Festivus?
Festive fist. And it's like a pitcher
fist.
drink, right? So you can make this for your family, so you don't have to be making individual cocktails,
it.
and they can just pour it themselves.
Group
and it's
cocktail,
one.
yeah.
And I like a
It's a
fizz.
nice batch cocktail.
I like a fizzy drink.
It is impressive, and that's an old school thing. We went over to this lady's house in Marco Island, and because my wife's granddad designed it or whatever, and so she's lived there for
Oh, that's
20
cool. You get to
years.
see one of the original Malcolm Brother homes?
And then she
That's cool.
invited Crystal's grandma over, and then we all just went to see the architecture of the house
That's cool.
because she whatever.
Is
And
it
then-
original or has it been redone?
No, originally he designed it
But I
and
mean,
built
like,
it.
is
Yeah.
the-
It's a mansion in Marco Island,
that's
but
cool.
we went there, and she, right when we got there, she fixed everybody some cocktail in a fancy glass decanter thing,
Yes.
with it like a punch
Yeah,
thing.
I like pitchers. I like decanters. I like punch bowls.
But-
I like all of that.
She mixed some things together. It wasn't alcohol, but it was like some orange juice and some other stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
but it
you
was
make
like
a little
Like a punch.
So punch and for everybody, and it was like an old school thing. And I'm like, oh, you want some punch? I'm like, oh, don't
Back
mind
in
if
the
I
day,
do.
when people came over, yeah,
Who does that anymore? But it's I appreciated it. I'm like, and making a group cocktail for your family.
Man, old people, you'd go to their houses and you'd walk in and they'd be, oh, how long can you stay? And you're like, oh, well, we got to be on the road. Oh, I want to stay for a second and visit. And you'd be like, okay. They'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to go get a plate of, just a plate of meats.
Yeah.
Like, here's some meats.
Appetizers
Here's some
and-
tiny pickles and here's a little cup, you know, and then you would snack a little. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you would always have some sort of drink and snack, and that would be a thing. And it's nice.
So Indy has out the 1941 vodka, which, I mean, I don't know if y'all are buying that, but that stuff, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I know that you like it a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know I like the price point on it. It is really, really good. And that is a proprietary brand?
It is. It's part of our Source and Certified collection, so it's a boutique brand for us at ABC,
It's
meaning
good.
you can't find it anywhere else in Florida but with us. And again, the reason I'm making a batch cocktails because I've learned over the years that if you have alcohol around, people are less likely to kind of argue or get fussy. Like everyone just goes for the alcohol. So it's
Yeah.
pro tip here.
Up
Make a
until
fuss.
Yeah, there's a point. There's a threshold.
after the seventh picture,
Fifth
then your
to seventh
uncle
pick,
starts telling
I've been
you
meaning to talk to you about something.
Jerry, Uncle
About what's
Jerry
going
loves
on in
it.
America.
I'm going to talk to you about Rittenhouse. You know that. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Not this year.
Not talking about it.
That's what happened.
Jeez, we put on the parade.
So what do we got, and what are we
So-
gonna mix together?
It's going to be 8 ounces of 1941 vodka, 8 ounces of Prosecco, which I have to open the bottle. And I did forewarn everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will not be held responsible if
No,
I
you're good.
hit someone in the face.
You know
Not
what?
today.
You know what I've always wanted to happen because I'm much like Ross. I love sparkling beverages.
Okay, yeah.
I like a champagne,
delicious.
prosecco, all of that. I just think it's an elevated cocktail.
Now,
like,
what
or
is
drink, rather.
prosecco?
Prosecco is sparkling wine made in Italy. So, like champagne, you can only call it champagne if it comes from Champagne,
The region,
France.
yeah.
Prosecco is basically just originated in Italy, slightly more, a little more on the sweeter side.
Sweeter side.
So it's like a sweeter champagne.
It's like Italian. It's the Italian sweet cousin of.
Of champagne.
Okay,
Champagne.
gotcha.
I like it a lot. There are a lot of people that prefer it. If you like sweet beverages, like my wife will prefer a prosecco to a champagne. I like champagne. I'm with Ross. I like it dry. I like it like bubbly and bitey. But I like it like this whole deal of having the cocktail
You
beverages.
can just let it fly right into the drop
Yeah,
ceiling.
just go.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, do it. Oh,
That was a good one.
that was a good one.
It was, I want to savor it, but I'm accident
Do you have
prone.
a saber?
We've done it before. You can do it with a really sharp kitchen knife. So
right.
something to try after you're you started arguing with Uncle Jerry. See if he's willing to go and savor something.
No knives. Put the knives away.
But long story short, the reason I'm also doing this is because any type of sparkling wine goes really well with your turkey or anything that's like kind of fatty food because it just basically like the bubbles make the flavor of your food a little more robust.
Enhances it. Yeah.
Exactly. I can't speak today.
Yeah, no, you're
then
good.
The cranberry juice, cranberry sauce, cranberry juice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Isn't today National Eat a Cranberry Day?
Yeah, today is National Eat a Cranberry Day, but she knew that. That's why she brought a
right.
cranberry.
Well, last time
Yeah.
I was here, Tom didn't know about pudding.
We're gonna bring
I should have
What was that, a peach? Was that a peach?
You said apple.
Anybody know where I can get your first peaches? Why'd you do that?
I love that
don't
she
know why.
remembered that.
It was the first thing the chat room said. They're like, "Oh, Indy's here," and then somebody just wrote, "What can I get?"
No, of
that
course
peach?"
they remembered it. I'm just glad
I
she
thought
did.
about bringing a look. To be honest, though, I had my first pomegranate like a month and a half ago, and I was really surprised. I'm like, "How do you eat this?" And you were like the first person that came to my mind.
Oh my God! I'm as dumb as that radio guy.
Anytime you don't know.
I'm just like you. Like the emails you get.
Yeah. When I forgot, I didn't know what fruit was. I thought about you too.
Tom gets these emails from listeners that'll be like, "I was at the car wash today and I pooped my pants. I'm just like you." Tom will be like, "Wait a
Anything
minute.
bad.
Wait a minute. Why
Nothing good.
Yeah, nothing good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a bad husband and dad too, just like you. We're buddies." I'm like, "Don't say that, man."
So
it's all fun and games. No, I was like, so you need a bit while you're eating this. Good to know.
All right, she put in the vodka.
So 8 ounces of vodka.
Yeah, well, vodka and here's the money. Here's your
8
prosecco.
ounces of Prosecco.
Could you go? Is it? I mean, like you could go heavier with this, right? If you wanted to, if you go 9 ounces, if you like it.
Yeah. Or you do that thing where you pour and then it starts overflowing the shot glass into whatever, and then you pour. Yeah. Like 3 Mississippis after.
I do that with salt a lot. When you're putting it in a recipe.
Yeah.
I do that with garlic.
Oh yeah, me too. I love garlic. There's our cranberry.
16 ounces of cranberry.
I got to give you a compliment. You don't skimp on your cranberry. A lot of people would skimp and buy any type of old cranberry. You went for the brand name.
It's whatever
That's the brand, though. I'm
ABC
saying,
had it right there.
It does matter to me. If you walk in and you got big value cranberry, I'm like, what's a damn big value cranberry?
It's great value. How dare you?
Well, I wasn't trying to get sued by Walmart.
They're not. They don't care.
But still, it's like you were at the holidays, whatever. You couldn't spring the 84 extra cents for the ocean spray.
Yeah, you can't get the ocean spray. Why you got to get big value?
Yeah. Even it's worth just a sticker so me to see ocean
so
spray.
I see it. It makes it.
It's 84 cents worth it.
When I walk into the house, I'm like, well, okay, so you took from the ocean spray, right? You took from the cranberry. Where'd you put the money back in? And then I see a big value turkey, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. It tells everybody
but cheap bastard.
I'm sorry, that's not true.
So easy peasy. You just do the 3 ingredients.
That's it.
3 ingredients.
Dude.
Pour it over.
How long?
It even changed the color of things. Like it's like a little bit more pleasant holiday hue.
With like a champagne or prosecco. Once you open the bottle, how long
That's a great
is it
question.
good for? Like a night or a couple hours?
That's a good question.
So there's actually champagne stoppers, which I'm mad that I didn't bring one because I would have left it for you guys, and it lasts like 2-3 days.
Okay.
You just have to have the champagne stopper. So, like, I like Prosecco in my drinks because you can do a lot with Prosecco. Like, you can make a margarita, for example, and top it off with Prosecco, and it gives that little extra, like, you know?
Like, Prosecco is now being used. Tell me if you like this analogy. I think I just made it up. Prosecco is now being used as, like, the hot sauce in cocktails because... Like she
It
said,
goes with anything.
with the margarita, though, it also gives it a little bubble pop, right?
Yeah.
Because I've
Some carbonation.
yeah,
Fizz.
I like fizzy drinks. So, wait, now she get the herbs out. Hold on a second. This is
That rosemary.
yeah, this is where things go crazy when you start putting. I like aromatics, like herbs. Pieces
Yeah.
of tree in my drink. I like that
Garnishes.
stuff. Yeah, man.
Bark.
Put a tree in my drink. I like it.
So let's talk about Thanksgiving Day because I'm a big proponent on leaving the TV on and with football playing
Yes.
in the background,
All day.
volume low.
Yes.
So people can have
Or
conversation. But
We do off with Christmas music.
But having
Thank you.
this
is lovely.
Having the volume off, but the TV on, you gotta have
Look at that guy.
You gotta have the TV on. I know people like complain and about like, no, you don't want distraction, and you have it so everybody can talk or whatever. But sometimes like you just want to sit on the couch after you'd made your rounds with the family and just watch.
Catch up.
TV and not have to.
Let's see what Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are saying.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, there's only so much you could talk to your family about, and until it passes the threshold of being fun anymore.
It gives you an out too if politics or something you don't want to talk about comes up. You can defer to that.
Yeah.
This is
All
really
right.
tasty.
Sorry, I just wanted to give it a little...
No, it's good. It's super
It's not bad.
tasty. What would we call this?
It's called the Festive Fizz.
Festive Fizz. There we go.
That's good. Mm-hmm. That's real good.
This is not the official recipe, but I also like to add a little bit of Aperol here and there if I need like a hint of like sweetness and give it a little like
You said it was a peach.
and I mean like just a couple of like
Little drops.
in there, but
Yeah, that's when you're done. You're not a cocktail guy, right? Neither of us are. We were more like beer dudes, right?
Yeah, but I enjoy a good drink, and I would prefer a drink in a social setting or when a special occasion over like anything else. Like
The
a mixed
rosemary
drink.
makes this, I think.
so also just I mean I know you're not a cocktail guy, but quick trip when you're putting any type of rosemary, what do you call it, like herbs, always try to give it a little like slap on your
I
hand.
saw you do that, and I was
Yeah.
wondering what that was about.
I thought you were doing that to get my attention. I kept looking over like, I'm paying attention.
I know,
I'm watching
she
you.
was teasing Tom over there.
No, it opens
Oh,
up
God,
the
nervous.
aromas of whatever herb you're putting in there because you're like smacking it. So
Yeah.
like wakes it up.
Yeah, it releases
and-
some oils.
And it releases the oils
Yeah,
in there for
man.
the cocktail.
I love this. This is great. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome. It's supposed to be paired with turkey, but I could have brought subs.
No,
I
that's
didn't.
fine.
Oh, you bring a portable camping oven.
Not here.
And now I'm going to bake this turkey for 5 hours.
You're putting the oil in the deep fryer. You're like, I'm about to put this out on your porch.
How do you do your turkey? Let's talk about that. Are you
I
guys
brine it.
And then you just bake it traditionally?
I brine and bake.
Oh, that's great.
With like so much garlic but it's like so fattening. I
Yeah.
know I could give someone a heart attack.
It's
with
awesome
it.
though. I like it like that. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm camping.
He's
so
going to
yeah,
Cracker Barrel.
You do hot dogs or
no,
you going
yeah,
out?
we just we're doing a camping Thanksgiving, but it's going to be a mishmash of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a traditional
Little
Thanksgiving.
Caesars, I get it.
No,
Right.
it's camping food or whatever the grill
Hot dogs.
What are you
fire.
doing?
Yeah.
Are you doing a big turkey?
No, I'm not cooking.
Oh, you're doing the sandwich at
Yeah.
it. That's right. You go out
Earl
to
of Sandwich at Disney Springs.
That's a good sandwich though.
It is.
So, Indy, what time are you supposed to invite your family over? Because I thought you were
Why are
supposed.
you asking her that?
Well,
He
because
seems to know the
Yeah,
holiday
yeah,
a lot.
well,
And
you
when we get
host-
somebody like this in our clutches, we're damn sure not letting them get away.
So you're the family that hosts everybody, and like, what time do you tell people to show up? Because you're always going to have the people that get there
Extra early.
That's
why
or
you tell them you tell them later
well,
in order to get the real time. Like Andrea's dad is notoriously early, so if we're going to start at 4, I tell him 3. I tell him 5, so he gets there at 4.
I grew up in Miami. Every single person that grew up in Miami that knows what I'm talking about, everybody shows up an hour after the start time, and then you're insane if you showed up at the start time. People would be still getting ready or whatever. It's just everybody knows you come late, and it's at least an hour after start. So I imagine depending on your family, like if you tell them to show up, like dinner starts at what's traditional for Thanksgiving?
God, for me now,
4:30, 5?
Here's where I'm going to mess everybody up. I think for us, like you were to arrive 2-ish, and we were eating like between 3 and 4. It was like almost like a hybrid between lunch and dinner. Because you didn't want to eat so much at like 7:30, and then you're going to bed with like 150 pounds of food in your stomach.
Yeah.
It was always weird. We did it early. What about you?
Yeah.
So this is a hot button in my family.
Uh-oh,
this
this
is
is where
what
you fight.
caused this. Literally, the first year my husband and I hosted Thanksgiving, this was the fight. My family likes to like roll in. Like you tell them a time, and it's like optional for them to show up at around that time. My husband's a chef, so like food has to be perfect.
Yes, he
and
has
cooked
a
on
high
time.
standard.
So standards here, my family just rolls in. We have decided this year, or for the past year, we told people to come in at 2. Mind you, it was smaller because of COVID. So 2 seemed to work for us because we started eating at around 4 p.m. And then
Right.
people left early enough, like my family members that we weren't necessarily like happy to be there. They roll out, and then like the party really starts because the people that
Yes.
actually want to be there stay. So me personally, I would think that the latest I'd want to have someone or give them like a time to be there would be 6 p.m. because traditionally you eat at around 7:30 dinner, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm not a late dinner guy. I like an early dinner, but I'm old.
Yeah.
That is an old man thing.
It seems like though Thanksgiving people always do their Thanksgiving dinner earlier.
I just
than
don't like the way
normal.
Yeah.
I feel. It has nothing to do with my age. It's just like I don't like getting full late. It makes me feel gross. Then I got to sleep. And I'm like, ooh, I like to feel gross at 4, and then give me a couple hours to ungross myself.
and then you go at it again.
Normally I don't, but man, it's hard sometimes if it's something I really like cold turkey sandwiches. And what I mean by that is Hawaiian roll, like 3 pieces of turkey, and then like a pound of salt on top of that, and I just eat that. Oh my God, salted turkey! I'm just eating it all night.
Yeah. And it seems like nearly impossible to get everything out with a huge Thanksgiving dinner without having some sort of commercial kitchen like that's hot and
Not
like,
enough ovens.
Yeah. Like most people, they have one oven, right? So it's like, how are you going to get 5 different or 6 different dishes out at the same temperature on the time? Like it's
hard.
nearly impossible.
We
Right?
used to, when we did it at the house I had before now, like 10 years ago, the little house, I had a double oven. So it was perfect because I had the little one and then I had the big conventional, and we were able to do it. And you could like set certain things to get done earlier. But I remember scenarios in my mom's house where she'd be using the oven, and we had so many people coming over where she had commandeered the neighbor's oven Do you ever hear
Oh,
those?
yeah,
Or see this?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
she'd commandeered the neighbor's oven because they were going out of town, right? So she would be baking in their kitchen. They're out of town. We have their keys. And she's going, that's how hard she's working. I'm like, that's not worth it.
Oh,
Going over to other people's houses and using their ovens?
Also, you know what wives really like? When their mother-in-law tells them what they did wrong in
Yes,
cooking.
they
love
standing
that.
over them. Or standing over them the entire time.
Yeah. They love when their mother-in-law tells them how they did it.
Yeah,
and
well,
how
oh my God.
you're doing it a little bit
You put the turkey
wrong.
in a bag?
Yeah. You don't say it's
Yeah,
bad,
no.
but you say it.
You question it.
Yeah, you question everything they do.
My daughter Maisie did. I put my I bought my my overalls I've been wanting.
Oh.
I bought a pair of Carhartt overalls. I've been wanting overalls for a long time since my wife threw out my overalls. So I bought a new pair of overalls and I put them on. And I walked out. And Maisie goes, "You're wearing that?" It hurt my feelings, dude. It crushed me.
I like that.
I went back inside. I changed.
No.
I texted Andrea how upset I was, and then Andrea sat Maisie down and talked to her about it. Like, you really crushed your dad's feelings.
Andy, I got one last question for you. So
Talk to me.
when you're having a group at your house, right?
I thought you were going to ask something completely.
No. Like, so most people know, like, okay, if I'm going to get the soda for a group of people, I'm going to get like a Sprite, a Coke.
What are you
going
going to get? 2
Coke.
liters? Ew.
No, but I'm just saying, you get some generic
2 liters?
Sun kissed.
well, Sunkist stuff like that. I feel like
Too fancy.
My mom's there.
Root
They do
beer.
appreciate
This
it.
guy's styrofoam cups, one little thing of ice, all the 2 liters, the caps are everywhere.
I don't drink much soda at the house, so
Get individual cans.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying you get some generic. What kind of like liquor should you have
That's a
when
good
you have
question.
a random amount of people of your house, like the staples? Like you have some 1941 vodka, of course, because everybody with the mixed drinks is easy to work with. But
Vodka is just so easy because it goes and it blends in with everything. Rum and bourbon.
okay,
In my house, we don't drink rum, so we replace it with tequila.
Oh,
But-
tequila, get me jumping off the banisters.
I almost brought tequila to make tequila drinks, but I'm like, it's too early for this.
I love
like,
That's
to
more of
hold
a
yourself
Christmas,
that's my tequila and mezcal are like my favorite.
Tequila's
So
my
it's
favorite.
like-
well, I feel like
Hard
more.
alcohol.
I see more people like tequila than rum nowadays.
I feel
Too
like
sugary.
Well, tequila is trending right now. It's the spirits that's trending the most. So, like, you know how we had whiskey and bourbon? Those are still trending, but tequila is like the new spirit.
supposedly it's the most healthy, right?
It is
Yeah.
supposed to be very healthy. We are stick around with ABC, and we are going to be releasing an article soon why health conscious people drink tequila.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, but it is one of the healthiest spirits out there, if
Yeah.
not the healthiest.
Angel from The Monsters was telling me that. Like, he was going to this whole thing about, like, because I was telling him how much it's always been naturally my favorite of the spirits. I just love tequila. My wife likes tequila too. Like, she doesn't even drink, but if she's going to, it is a shot of very expensive tequila. And I'm like, you are the strangest human being. Plus, she doesn't eat a lot of meat, but when she does, like, we have that Wagyu steak that we got from Organic Meats.
Yeah.
And she's like, she'll have tequila and a ginormous steak. I'm like, you are so odd, but she'll do it like once or twice a year, right?
She's a boss lady.
Really go crazy on it.
Brilliant marketing by the tequila people because they went hard on party early on. Like,
They did. They got it out of their system.
Yeah, like they was like tequila was the party drink for years.
It was tequila.
And they're like,
Oh,
we're shifting into health. They were like, wow, that was a pivot that I didn't see coming.
They got me.
Mid-late
because-
tequila.
You went party to health.
Yeah, tequila's like me. Tequila's like, I got to slow down a little bit. You know what? I'm healthy now.
My New Year's resolution is to become a tequila sipper. So instead of like using cocktails, just learn how to like drink it neat or just on the rocks. But that's my New Year's resolution because it's something I can stick
But
to.
tequila's easy because of the different flavor profiles of like lowland tequilas and highland tequilas. And I've taken a lot of little classes on it. Tequila is...
But I'm a cocktail wine girl. Like I really
Okay.
love the flavors and experimenting. So that's why. But
I like it.
it's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to stick to it. I know that
Yeah, I like
already.
that.
So I'm good with that one.
Well-
and going back to that, yeah, rum, vodka, and bourbon is what they usually say. But me personally, I replace it with tequila because I feel like most people will go with it. And it also mixes really well with anything that's kind of on the sour side of things, tart, whatnot. Also, it pairs decently well with food when you're making cocktails.
Rum to
And of
me,
course-
though, seems very Christmassy. You know, it
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like what
Yeah.
the dog that would save you in the snow would have and put in your mouth.
I never have rum at my house either, though.
But I like rum. When I have a traditional, I call it a onesie. When I have a onesie, which is lots of ice, Diet Coke, rum, Captain Morgan. That's a onesie. Diet Coke and rum, like it's not like when I taste it, it's got this really caramel kind of a yummy, sugary. I love it.
Rum mixes well with all the milks, right? Like that's what they put in.
rum
all-
chata and
yeah, like all the eggnogs and stuff. That's all rum based.
It's brandy, right?
Is it brandy?
Brandy.
Okay.
I think eggnog is brandy. I don't drink eggnog either, though.
How are you on eggnog?
I make the Hispanic eggnog or Puerto Rican
Coquito.
eggnog, which I make
coquito,
coquito.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So
coquito is superior in my eyes.
Oh, we get it every
Sure,
single
yeah.
year from listeners.
And then we
Homemade-
rail against it. We're just like, oh my god, they've given us their homemade milk.
By the way, and this is not including you, Indy, but everybody else,
no.
this is just for listeners.
Here we go.
If you're making coquito every year, right, just order the blank bottles on Amazon and don't give it to me
A Gatorade bottle.
in your whole
Leftover Heinz ketchup bottle.
Sometimes they don't even take off the wrapper. It says on the back. It says Michael Jordan's favorite citrus cooler. I'm like, what?
Putting it in old Matook's bottles.
Yeah.
I am so guilty of that.
Don't do that.
I mean, how much are glassware? Like you can get. I bet you if you looked up a dozen.
Oh, what's this? Oh, look, we got Duke's mayonnaise. It's coquito. Oh, okay. I'll put it back.
It goes back, I think. I mean, growing up in a Hispanic household, you'd think you have like, I don't know, some nice kind of butter in the fridge, and it's not. It's like some kind of leftover meal or hot sauce, whatever.
Sure.
It's like so disappointing.
Reuse.
So like we reuse it for
Yeah, you
everything.
reuse.
So if we do it for food, why not for
Some
drinks?
sweet and beautiful abuela
Plus,
standing there. Some beautiful abuela standing there with a Gatorade bottle full of coquito. She's putting used toilet paper in the trash. I'm like, there's a better way for everything. We can fix this. You can flush the toilet paper and you can put that in a glass bottle.
I'm all about recycling and saving the earth and you reusing things. I'm just saying when you're giving as a gift.
Key West BTM, we have to send her a prize because that's one of the funniest and most true things ever said. Key West BTM says, country crock containers for everything. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Everything in that tan khaki country crock. And my mom put everything in country crock.
And the blue shortbread cookie tin,
Yes.
it's sewing supplies.
Yeah, absolutely. But the country
Although
crock,
no one ever sews in my
country crock
family.
was weird because my mom would have everything in old country crock containers, but I never saw her once use country crock.
I'm just saying
Whoa.
it's
You heard
off-putting
about this one?
drinking my coquito out of a magnum of A1 sauce because it's what you had left over.
Yeah.
Just order the glassware.
I'm gonna call him out right now.
It's got to be penny.
Comedian Pedro Lima dropped by some coquito. You didn't soak your bottles. They still had the sticky from the wrappers on them.
I'm so okay. I save my wine bottles. I give it to people in my wine bottles.
You got to soak them.
Yeah.
I'm already busy making the damn coquito.
Yeah, make it-
I
make it
take
up.
your coquito and you shut the hell
Get
up.
Travis to
You
do
say
it.
thank you.
I know. I'm like,
You know what?
Travis
Next time
She's
I'm going to
offended.
come here with like super labeled
Yes.
everything. I'm going to be like, bam.
why is this barefoot Pinot Grigio look
my
like it's got milk inside of
My
it?
God, this wine's gone bad. Oh, wait. Oh, it's coquito. Okay. Is everything in here coquito? Can I have some regular milk for my cereal, please? Because everything is coquito. At one point last year, we had so many of our Spanish friends bring us coquito that there was no place to put our lunch in the refrigerator. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I had to tell Travis politely, I said, look, it's nice that they brought us all this. And everybody has a different recipe, and they're all the best.
Also,
Mine's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
We should have a coquito off.
First of all, we did it at work. You can catch it on YouTube coming up soon.
Okay.
Because we did a blind test.
What?
Yeah. And I made mine, and there are brands
Yours
like
won, didn't
Bacardi, Palms. I can't give it away.
No, don't
no
give it away.
spoilers.
That's
no
yours, but you
spoilers.
won, right?
She's not allowed to say.
Oh, no, okay. Gotcha.
and last tip of the day: when you're at your
Oh, you're
Christmas
giving
Eve
us
party,
tips?
I'm just saying, and maybe like if you have a medical marijuana card and you have some back problems, you got taking some CBD or whatever, you need 1% THC.
Yeah, I'm taking some CBD.
I'm just saying the coquito will light it like a fuse because it's so
Light it like a
Yeah.
fuse.
and
Light it
you
like
will
a
be unable to talk to your mother them all in the kitchen. And you have to go hide.
Well, they use
and
full
have
fat.
a freak out.
They use full fat milk.
Yeah.
You don't
full
wanna-
fat,
Yeah,
you don't drink full fat milk that
You
often.
don't.
And then all of a sudden you have a full glass of coquito.
Yeah.
And you are having a freak
Well,
out.
you might want to prepare, even if you're not on the medical marijuana, you don't want to be drinking if you haven't had it in a years.
No,
you don't want to be drinking a full fat glass of milk. Just don't do, I'm not even going to explain why not to do it. Just don't do it.
You're drinking the double fudge sundae of sugar
Yeah,
and fat.
And you're lighting your stomach's fuse, and it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be real bad.
I make mine with ice cream. So
Oh.
like it's even worse. So like if
Bring
you
it
get,
next
like,
time.
Oh, that
You're
sounds
done.
delicious.
because I don't like the eggy flavor,
I
so
don't
I
either.
I'm with
replace
you.
that with like ice cream. So then I make like flavored, and also like coquito is
Don't give your
very
secrets
sweet.
out. That's
I have more secrets.
but that's
than that,
brilliant
though.
because I don't like the egg taste
Me
either.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do it with your favorite like flavored ice cream.
Done. I'm doing
Yes.
this. This is a great idea. Well, always a pleasure seeing you. Thanks for coming in
Thank
and cutting
you.
up with us a
Indeed.
little bit. The drink is phenomenal. I love the festive fizz. It's delicious.
And we want to remind everybody, when you go to ABC, your local ABC, take a picture of what you bought, or you in front of the store, or whatever, hashtag TDABC, and we give out prizes.
We do.
ABC gift cards will mail them to you. And that helps us, and we show all that to ABC.
Well, and
Yeah, that works for delivery too. So if you get something delivered, take a picture of what you ordered.
Yeah, the
and,
delivery
hashtag-
system.
Yeah.
The funny-
I
Especially
use
for the
that
ho-
all the time.
For the holidays, just give it delivered
Yes.
to your house.
It comes via FedEx. It's super easy.
The only word of the wise I would say to that, if you order it from the studio like I did, just make sure your wife's there because they're really fast and they fit me in. They were like, "Oh, we have an opening here," and then you just delivered my stuff, and Andrea's like, "What'd you buy?" And it all like showed, it was like tons of White Claw and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, just make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
they can fit you in pretty fast. Indy, thank you so much.
Thank
Is there
you.
anything you need to plug?
I kind of do.
Do it.
Go ahead.
So obviously, get your alcohol from us. Great ideas. If you are not really sure what to get people, glassware, hashtag, we sell it there. So thank you also to ABC. We are on YouTube now, and we are implementing a lot more videos with more ideas on cocktails, wines to serve, how to pair your turkey with what type of
Or
wine.
your newsletter. Like I get that. It's got all
Yes.
kinds of stuff in it.
Yes. So just follow us on ABC Fine Wine Spirits on YouTube. Both YouTube and Instagram, as well as Facebook. And I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully, I see you before Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. We'll
Let's
get you in
measure
here.
Butler's head
That guy
next time with
that's the big-
Charmin. That's
You know what we
all
should
what
do
I
to really
want.
embarrass him?
What's
We should
the circumference?
We
It's like-
should do a fish tank and then make him put it in like a displacement where he has to put his head in.
Yeah.
The water went up 9
Yeah.
inches. That's how fat your head is.
Because he does not fit in any hats, and like even our straw hat is like it's really baggy. It's like barely it sits on the top of his head. It's a weird
Yeah.
freak of nature.
It's off-putting.
I know it's all jokes, but I really did want to get him a cat. Like that was like originally.
He doesn't
it was
need
a
anything.
nice. I was like, let me do a nice gesture.
Also,
and then
why is
I
he
was like,
begging our sponsors for hats?
Why is he making
Yeah.
you do extra work? He
I
should
know.
be getting you a hat.
Yeah,
He was
you
so
a hat.
kind. No, he was just so kind, and I'm like, let me see
What?
what I can do.
Kind. He's a horrible person.
Yeah. That's all.
We hate him.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're
All right, he's
we-
fine.
I'm gonna get an email and be like, what the heck?
No,
it's
listen,
like,
he
where's
hates the show.
hat? I think they're getting rid of me. Gotta get all the clothes I can while I'm here. Hey, it's Butler. This is a new email
Yeah.
address. I'm
Hey,
not
Mark,
here anymore.
Mark Villan, what do you got?
Yeah. Like your employees start stealing all your roasts. That's what's happening right now. All right, bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's talk chirping.
All right.
So Daniel texted me over the weekend.
I did.
And
Text chirp.
I text him a lot. I chirp him. I digital
That's fine.
chirp him. Well, I just feel, I don't know, man. I feel the need to digital chirp you. A lot.
Digital chirp down.
I actually,
we know the guy who wrote that song.
We do.
He tried to scam us.
He tried to scam us. Then he did. Well,
Well,
it was a
no,
passive.
yeah,
No, he
yeah.
tried to get us in his.
It was just, yeah.
He tried to get us
It's
to
just-
jump into the scam pool with him.
It was a multi-level marketing
He
thing.
did it was a multi-level marketing thing, and last time we saw him, he came here and he did the move where you're in multi-level marketing. I'm just going to pretend I'm in multi-level marketing right now, and I'm going to do the move he did to both of you guys. Okay, let's just say I sell noni juice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
noni juice salesman. I have
right.
been all my life, and I'm a damn good one. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm looking at my cell phone. Oh, what's that? Oh, I knew it. You guys aren't biting. You're supposed to say, what?
See, you're a chirper. We don't care.
You're not doing
That's the
it.
problem
You're the
with
worst people to
non-chirpers.
chirp at.
We don't want to. We don't want to know about your business.
I gave you my best. I did it, and you didn't even fall for it.
I thought
don't
you
wanna-
were doing
No.
what happened to us, and we were like, "Oh my God, he's doing it." We don't want to mention it because
Exactly.
he's going to start this
But
whole
we
awkward
did,
like,
but
"Oh,
I did.
I
I was like,
Because
okay.
you're a chirper.
I was like, okay.
You bit.
I did bite. I'm naturally wired to bite.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, all right, I'll play along. What did you do? And he's like, oh. And then I would be like,
I just
oh,
made
man.
$3,800.
I made $3,800 selling all this noni juice. If only I had some other friends that want to invest. You guys probably wouldn't want free money. He did like that thing. He did like that
Yeah.
thing. And then me and Tom are like laughing and also mad in our mind. And we're like, oh no, this is making somebody we really care about. It's like it's like they're dull now, right? Like the polish is wearing off. And I'm like, uh-oh.
But then something happened which we didn't see coming, where he got mad that we
Yeah, he
didn't.
got mad.
He got mad at us.
Like he just did. Yeah.
Yeah, he flipped it on. Well, that's just.
Well, he got mad that
that's-
we wouldn't go down
Yes.
Right.
the multi-level marketing hole
You didn't
with
want to
him.
hear the pitch.
Because
yeah.
like
Yeah.
okay, so we did it. We got the pitch live in here, which to this day is still one of my favorite memories. And then we got that, and then I got a Facebook Messenger message that basically no, but it was, and I didn't expect it to go this direction. This is what I was talking about. It went like
I laughed at this.
It didn't go mad. It meant more like I shared the $32,000 I made with Noni Juice to you guys, and I offered you the ability to get on board with me, and you didn't take it, and that's basically like spitting in my goddamn face. I have never been more disappointed, and I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
I like that part.
You did. You laughed and you loved that part.
Yeah.
And then
Because
I
was like,
I just
you went
closed my
aggressive.
laptop. I didn't even write back. I just closed my
He went aggressive that we didn't jump in on his multi-level.
No, yeah, but I wonder if that works for some. Some people are like, "Whoa, okay, bro, I'll
Yeah,
join. I'll
it
join. Jesus, be my friend."
Intimidation factor, man.
It is a different flex, right? But
Yeah.
hey, welcome back to the show. You guys want to do voicemail email? What do you want to do here? Oh, you listed something down.
Oh, I started
Well,
with the
you
chirping.
digitally chirped
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
And then I said digital chirp down.
Yeah. That got us whole way.
Sorry about that.
That's how the show works. It's like
That really sidetracked
you
us.
mentioned one thing, and we're like, let's go down this road. What's down here?
So I got a digital chirp from Daniel, and
That's what we call text messages.
He was saying that his daughter, he's like, Maisie won't stop talking to me. She just talks nonstop to me every second of the day.
You have no idea.
And then-
It's-
I think I have a little idea.
no, you don't.
I said she's
no, it's
chirping
not
it
me.
good.
No, it's not even close to me. It's not even similar. It's not. I'm a 1. She's a 9.
Yeah, because she's not aware that
Fresh.
she's bothering you.
Fresh
She has no
chirp.
concept
Fresh
of
chirp.
that someone is bothered by that.
It's an X-Men that doesn't know how to control their powers yet.
Yeah.
That's what all it is. It's Cyclops before he had the red visor, right? He's just literally obliterating towns. He was a baby, right? Cyclops was a baby with laser eyes, and he's obliterating everything. They had to slap put a gel on that baby, put a red gel in his face. He's killing everything, and then they had to teach him to not look at people without his red glasses on, or he'd burn their faces off.
It's so funny, but you always want what you don't have, because like
She won't play video games with me, but she'll sit there and talk to me while I play video games, which is horrible.
me and Daniel constantly. We talk about things our kids do, and we're like, I want that. I want my sons to talk to me nonstop about their day, whatever. Like my sons are quiet.
This is everything.
Dude, when I drive my sons to school every single day, it is literally they get into the car and we drive this in dead silence.
That smells like a McMuffin. Did you have a McMuffin?
I didn't have it. I had the same.
That
old
smells like a
stinky
McMuffin. My God, I thought you were a little toe in vacation time. That smelled like a dad burp. That was straight up McMuffin coffee all day long. In fact, it smelled like my dad. I almost burst into tears and started hugging you. I'm like, Dad?
I did
Ghost
have
of my
coffee.
dad.
Burps the ghost.
The ghost of my dad is a McMuffin and coffee. It just came out of your
I did have
bowels.
coffee, and yesterday I went too hard. I screwed up.
What do you mean?
You drink too much coffee and poop your pants?
I drank too much, and then I ran out of regular White Claw, and I started Surge.
Oh no, you never
Full
end on
dad.
Surge.
Full dad.
Yeah, and then I think I blacked out.
Oh man.
I woke
Surge
up
is
at 4.
awesome.
I woke up at 4 in the morning, and I was like, Oh, no.
Were you at least in bed?
Dude.
No, yeah, I was in bed. No, I made
He
it
was
to the-
floating on a raft in the pool. All the lights are out.
Yeah. It was just, my sons are there. My wife's gone. I don't know what's happening. They're sleeping with me. And I'm like, oh.
She finally left
You
you.
wake up and your wife had left you with the...
No. I woke up and I was like, I need water. And I go and I get Advil, shaky hand, old man. I'm trying to. It's dead. It's pitch black.
Oh, why do they do that?
And I'm trying to find the two arrows together, and I can't find it.
And
I'm
it
like,
hurts my
please.
thumb.
And you don't have your pop glasses on.
I have no idea
You
what
gotta
my
feel.
glasses.
You gotta feel.
Yeah, I'm feeling.
You gotta rub around it's like rubbing the edge of a quarter. You're feeling the grooves. You gotta feel the grooves. Where's the arrow? Where's
And
the
then
arrow?
I finally get the Advil out. I'm like my hands are numb.
And it hurts.
They're falling. The Advil's falling all over the floor.
And if you don't have it lined up perfectly, like an Indiana Jones trap, like you'll never get that top off ever.
And then I'm trying to get the glasses out of the cabinet, and I'm like clanging them around, and then all of a sudden I hear, "What's happening?" It's the crow.
Where was she hiding?
She's sleeping in
She sleeps
Tommy's
in the
room.
front yard with a shotgun. Like,
Why is she
what's
sleeping
happening?
in Tommy's room?
I don't know what happened, but no.
They each get one, and they're
Did you
going their
guys get in a
separate
fight?
ways.
No. My sons, like, they started off we got home
They
late.
sleep an hour a day in each room.
Anyway, we went to the beach. It was a whole thing. No, it was fine.
Oh,
No-
you got beach blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's a rough one.
Yeah. I never start drinking early, but I'm like, at the beach.
It's Sunday fun day.
And then,
Sun's out, guns out.
But then, like I said, I didn't have any more White Claws, so I threw some Surges, and that's how I started with Surge. And then, anyway.
Yeah, you got to start with Surge.
So,
Gunpowder, light the gunpowder.
I wish I had a chirper, and I got two quiet ass boys that we drive to we drive to school in total silence, and the only thing I say is like, "Have fun at school," and they're like, "Yeah," and they get
They
out.
say, yeah.
They don't talk.
Like
They just
that's
throw up
the
a peace
thing.
sign and walk out.
Yeah. And it's not even
Deuce.
they literally sit inside. We were sitting and like eating breakfast, like making breakfast
Like
every
two old
morning,
men.
and they just sit there in silence. I'm like,
I don't get that.
just talk.
Well, they're
Like-
tired because you kept them up till midnight.
Like, for instance, breakfast, Maisie's talking all the way through it while eating and cartwheeling at the same time. It's like she'll take a bite of waffle and then she's like, look at this. And she'll do like a back bend, and then she'll flip over her legs and then take another bite. I'm like, don't do that with your mouth full. You're going to choke and die. And she's like, you'll make fun of me
You'll
or bully
choke
me.
and die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll bully me. She's like, you're fat. Like, I mean, that's what I got.
She's an athlete.
Yeah, she's bullying me
loves-
already.
Yeah, she likes bullying. I'm telling you,
She
it's
loves
like everything
bullying.
I like.
Yeah, she loves bullying.
and
She
then-
likes to pat my belly and goes, this is jiggly like mom's butt. And I'm like, that's great. This is great.
My sons, like, I finally taught them how to ride a bike. Right?
Wow.
Do it.
They're not. It's not 100%. And this is
Hey,
so.
if they can coast on it and keep the wheels up, hey, you've done your due diligence. You're good.
Well, they're like in the process of learning how to be like. I'm still running them by their side so they don't fall over, but they're riding by themselves with no training wheels, right? But their thing is they do it in such small spurts. For instance, like Max was like, "Oh, Gigi hasn't seen me ride a bike." That's what he calls.
Oh, that's awesome.
Crystal's mom. And then so she was over, and then Max like, all right, I'm going to go ride a bike. So we all went out to the front yard,
I
and then we get Max on the bike, and then he rides like we run by the side. He rides by himself for 100 feet, and then he comes back to the driveway. And he's like, "All right, you see it?" And then G's like, "Oh, good job!" And he's like, "All right, go back in time." I'm like, "Don't you want to
He
ride
just
some
wanted
more?"
to prove he could do it,
Like-
but he doesn't actually want to.
Max
enjoy
is
riding.
practical. Max is practical in the idea that if I need to ride this bike away from this house burning down, I know how to do it. Now that's all I need to know.
And I'm
It's like a fire extinguisher.
You got to ride longer to, like you can technically do it, but you got to ride more so you can start doing it by, and then you get to the point where you just ride around.
I think that's smart because Maisie
2 minutes.
and this is, I know people are going to get mad.
Less than 2 minutes.
Some would say the dumber children, maybe mine, would get on their bike and ride in a circle for 3 hours.
She's an athlete. She's
Burning energy.
I guess.
My sons, they just want to obviously just play video games all day, which we don't want
That's
to do.
what I
But
wanna
they just
do.
want to sit inside. They never go outside. They never want to run around.
That's
do
crazy.
flips.
Yeah, no, we have
do
too
some
many
flips.
We did too many flips.
You just sit in silence.
That's what I
Not
want.
a normal
I want
childhood behavior.
I want two little boys that will sit beside me and be like, "Great job, you just virtually won a new plane." Or,
Oh, yeah,
"Great job, your virtual car race, you just won you won a new Mini Cooper, or you got a really rare McLaren."
They would sit there and watch you fly
Yes.
the plane to Atlanta.
Oh, I'm doing
Like,
Forza now. Like,
mesmerized by nothing. Why are you mesmerized by nothing?
I ordered Forza like a year ago. I pre-ordered it, and I forgot I even ordered it like way before, and it started. That's so cool that you like fire up. I sound like a dumb old man. But you fire up your gaming system, and like the game's there. It's like, hey, here's your new game.
Yeah,
You don't have to go to the store. It's amazing. But I started playing that. Oh, they would love that. All the cars in there, all the crazy ass cars and different tracks and all the kind of cool stuff. But May does not care about any video games. Not a lick.
So,
Thinks it's stupid.
speaking of the beach, Max got stung by a man-o-war.
My mom got stung by a man-o-war back in the day. My mom got stung by a man-o-war, had to go to the hospital, ambulance.
Now, maybe this wasn't a man-o-war, but
Tentacles, long purple tentacles?
well, they were littered on the beach. Like there was, it must have been like from that cold front coming in or whatever,
Yeah.
like a lot of waves or whatever. So there's a lot of debris on the beach, and there was tiny, what looked like man-o-wars to me. I'm not sure if they're a different kind of jellyfish or whatever, but like little, I would say 3-inch bubblegum size, like half deflated, half kind of inflated, like purple.
Yeah.
Jelly.
things.
It's
Jellies.
like
Yeah. Like
to me, the man-o-war I always thought was the one that looks like an air balloon on the top, and then its tentacles spread
Yeah.
out. Because my mom, what happened? It got wrapped around her, and then it like she went into shock. It was crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, they could poison you.
Yeah, they
good,
can get
but
you good.
These were on the beach, like they washed the shore
Yeah.
dry.
Well, they break up. Like the
Yes.
waves will smash them and break them up, but they're still stingable.
And I guess some of the tentacles were
Yeah.
still in the waves. Like,
Oh man, he got. Oh my god,
well,
it
he had-
hurts.
It was
dude.
a lot, like 2 lines on his back.
It hurts.
right? Like about 4 inches or whatever. And but it wasn't from a live one, so I think it was less.
I got a live one on my thigh, and man, it's like red. It's
It'll
like
make it
fire.
bleed,
It's
right?
like, yeah.
Anyway,
It can.
But they were littered on the beach, like everywhere, because they washed up. There was hundreds of them. So we had like yelling at the kids, like, watch where you step, because I
Yeah.
think if you step
I'm
on them.
surprised your kids don't wear aqua socks.
No, he draws a line at that. I've heard him say that before.
They were too lazy. They want to. It's just they're too lazy to remember.
great.
They really are. They're like me, where they if we would have brought them, I'm sure they. But they also get sand in them, and they don't like that. You know, like when they're stepping on sand, is rubbing their feet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My dad hated my aqua socks. He hated them. I mean, hated them.
it's like
Didn't want to buy them. We were at the outlets here in Orlando because we had to drive up from DeLand to Orlando to get aqua socks at the Nike outlet.
No, fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't fancy. We were trash. So we go up there and we got them. But, like all the outlets, when they had something that like was new that comes out, you're not going to find the best versions of that, right? So when I go in there, and I had like rich friends and people that had the Nike brand aqua sock. That is a brand, aqua sock. You can't just toss that
yeah.
around. That's like Kleenex. And we went to the outlets, and when we went in there, the only ones that they had were like, like bright yellow neon, like tennis ball neon.
yes,
They had those with white bottoms. That's the only ones that they had, but they had them in my size, and I could just tell my dad didn't want me to get that. This wasn't a time when men traditionally wore those type of colors.
yeah.
Now, later in life, my dad would transition to wear a very light pink polo shirt, but that's about as spicy as he would get.
I made a mistake too at the beach where we had
Cheated
this
on my wife.
skimboard that we had bought a long time ago. We were cleaning out the garage, and by the way, I almost got the storage unit 100% empty.
Okay.
And I think,
Is this the last month?
well, yes, it re-ups in December 1st, so I have
Oh,
to.
good
I'm-
out.
We got to go.
I
It's go
ha-
time.
Well, the only problem is I have to get all the banner. Like I may have to rent they have a $75 just room, like a closet size room that's there too. and I may have to rent that just for the month of December to put the stuff in there, but because I can't make it, I got to get it out by December 1st.
Gotcha.
And they make you like put your move out date online. It's all a scam to make you pay more or whatever, but it's a whole process.
They make
of
it
like,
difficult for sure.
Of like, I can't just cancel it the day of. I gotta like give them warning or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a whole
What
thing.
the hell? 2 weeks notice?
And they gotta there's like,
Like you're leaving a job?
restocking fee.
Yeah, anyway, so, the mistake I made. So I had a skimboard that I brought to the beach.
You could have borrowed mine.
And we have one that we never used that it was somehow in our garage, but it's like a kid-size one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was showing the kids how to use it. Like they wanted to, and then I don't know what I was thinking, but it was a dumb old man thing because I had full clothes on because it was cold at the beach, so I wasn't like wearing a bathing suit, you know.
Yeah.
And so
What are you gonna like
Jeans.
jeans and,
No,
and Red Wing
but
boots
I just
like
had-
an old cowboy?
I dressed. I had shorts and a t-shirt, right? But I didn't have a bathing suit on. I didn't want to get wet. Like I had boxers on, shorts, and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But I thought that I could,
like any British person at the beach.
I know where this is going.
I thought that I
man.
could show, like, when the wave comes up, you throw the skimboard and you just jump on. I thought I could jump on a little bit and do a little
No.
like
and
a
then hop off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like a do like.
Not when you haven't done it in 10 years.
Yeah. And it rocketed out from under me.
How many
and-
surges have you had before that?
Oh, yeah. That was, you know what? The surge will
Yeah,
make
yeah,
a party. I'll tell you right now, you
That
wouldn't
was
have done
after one surge.
You get that surge confidence.
Yeah,
But-
I love surge. Oh, so good.
But in empty stomach and a surge, I was like,
empty stomach. I hope you put coconut shrimp on top of that. Oh, man. All the diarrhea.
and then I fell on, and then
you fall backwards or forwards because you can do both.
I fell on my side, stiff fall.
But did you fall forward because it caught sand? 'Cause
Yes.
that's
Oh
what-
yeah. I jumped on it.
caught sand.
I literally it rocketed to the ground, which I then started running. I started doing that momentum running, and I could not catch myself. I fell on my side, stiff fall, and I got
Crystal laugh?
Oh, everybody was laughing. Yeah.
You didn't go face first, though. I don't see any sand burns.
No.
I had friends that would go sand first, and they'd get their nose, and then they'd have that weird, like, where you just rub the skin off, so then you get, like, a light scab on your nose.
Yeah.
You know how
Oh.
when redneck fat grannies fall
Yes,
down
I
on
do.
America's
Boy, do
Funniest
I.
Home Videos?
It's my favorite thing.
You did the redneck fat
There's
granny.
nothing better than watching a red ass old fat granny, and they all have red asses. That's
Yeah.
if you're following along and connecting the dots, you know.
redneck fat granny.
Yeah, redneck fat granny with a bright red ass if
And
she were nude.
They start falling forward, and the
Momentum of their muffin continues because they got stick legs, and their stick legs are like.
yeah. And somehow they if they just would have fallen in the first
They
couple.
can't crumple. Their legs are too stiff to crumple.
Yes,
because there's no kneecap, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just stick straight down like Mr. Krabs. There's no bend. If there's no bend in your knee, you can't crumple to the ground. You have to run it out.
And if they just did it like a old man Peyton Manning like slide, so you don't get
Even
decapitated.
old Patrick Mahomes, I was
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
him run over the weekend. I'm like, wait a minute, you run like an old man and you got a dumpy ass.
But instead, you do that fat granny run where you start building momentum.
Yeah,
and
you
then
go faster.
And then you run into the broken fence, or you run into the
Let's study
fall
that
into
for
the
a
yard.
second. What's weird about the redneck fat granny run is that they don't want to go faster, but they have no choice but to go faster because of the way that their legs are engineered and their girth.
Yeah, their momentum, their muffin is falling forward, and their stick legs are catching their
but
it's just
propelling.
it's propelling them more fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I did when I jumped off the skimboard, and then I landed sand and wet all. And you know what?
Oh, man, I hate sand. I hate wet sand on a cold beach day.
Yeah. If you've got wet, sandy shorts and your whole left side is all, and then I had to take my shirt off. So then
It will anger you.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting there in my chair. Now I'm mad. So that was the beginning of it, because then I was mad and I started drinking more surge. Because
But why you're at the beach?
Huh?
It's nasty out. Like, why are you at the beach?
It was an odd day to choose to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Well, we went saw our friends out there, and then they're the walking distance from the beach. So it was like we were at their house for the first time, and they were like, "Oh, let's walk to the beach." It's like if anybody who lives near the beach, you just go. It doesn't have
Normally,
to
I
be.
just see people in hoodies looking out, contemplating their marriages. That's all you see.
Yeah.
The beach on a rainy day is everybody in a hoodie. You're looking out, and you're like, man, I miss that girl I used to date. Or, man, I have a loveless marriage.
It was a rough day. It wasn't raining, but it's like if you live near the beach, you can go at any time or whatever. So it's not that much. Of
I
a
do that
waste.
at Mom's little beach place. Like I love it when it rains. I used to go out and just like wear my shorts, especially on a hot day. When it's cold, I'm not going to do it. But if it were like a hot, stormy day and not really lightning, I'd go down on the beach and just walk it. It's so fun because it's like quiet.
But it's like those days when there's a 1,000 man o' wars wash ashore and stuff like that. Or like, remember when Tiffany's wedding, they had that weirdo
sargassum weed or
all the kelp or whatever the hell, like in Mexico, washed ashore, and there's like bulldozers trying to move it out. It's like
Mexican turd kelp.
yeah. Whereas like every once in a while, it could either be beautiful or Mexican turd kelp, or man o' wars, or like
it looks
horrible.
good as a wreath on your door, but when it's rubbing against my breasts or on my butt or my thighs, it's weird.
Or like red tide, or like 1,000 dead fish wash ashore. And you're like, it either is paradise or the worst.
There's no gray area with the ocean. It's either.
It's like we're gonna puke 1,000 man o' war onto the shore with stinky kelp.
One of the worst things that the ocean does here in Florida. I don't know if everybody gets this, but one of the worst things that we get here in Florida, and it ruins the ocean for me, is when you go down on the beach after a storm and you look, and sitting in like on the ground will be a pile of light nicotine yellow brown poop foam that's from
we had the poop foam too.
I don't know what it is. It looks like diarrhea or something, but it's a light nicotine yellow brown. Why couldn't it have just been white? Or why nicotine yellow brown?
We had the yellow poop foam too.
Yeah, it's terrible. And it stinks. You can smell a little bit of fish farts in there. Something, I don't know, that's not science, but something is in there. It smells like a fish.
Yeah.
It's slightly fishy.
Yeah. You are like, there's some poop foams, some man o' wars everywhere. This stinks. Makes it not even good. You took everything good away.
But if you're a kid, if you're Max, you love it. Like I did.
Until you get stung by the man o' war.
Now you're never going to want to go to the beach again.
That's true.
No,
Do you also pee on those stings?
You can.
Does it also help?
I always
regular
thought that-
jellyfish?
I always
it hurt
thought
him
that
later
was,
instead of like instant. It was weird. Like he started complaining about it a little bit, but it was worse on the drive home. I guess
Could have been adrenaline,
He was having fun,
with his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? For us, like I always thought, and I don't know if I don't think we've ever really talked about this, but the peeing on the jellyfish thing, like I don't know about that. Like, I mean, like I've heard about it and people talk about it, and we probably did it, and said that it did anything, but I don't know if it actually does anything. I don't want to perpetuate that. It could be a divining rod scenario.
Yeah.
Everything is a divining rod scenario now. It's like that.
Yeah.
And then everybody's so all in on that and they believe it that, keep peeing on each other. It's fine. Whatever. I don't care anymore. Just do what you got to do to get through and die.
You're right. Who cares? Whatever you believe.
I used to think it, tell you that that's wrong, or like you pull your wetsuit down. Well, we got to pee in it, bro, and it's like it's not worth the breath.
Although it does make me wonder: don't you want to know the truth, or no?
I mean, according to anybody that
they
puts
can't handle the truth.
Okay, according to what I've learned,
don't you want to know?
According to this show and what I've learned on this show, the people that put in our pipes and keep America running, or keep America's pipes running. More of them would rather use the rods and just don't talk about it than to know the truth and have to go about it a different way.
Yeah.
Because remember, the rods still work. If you're just tuning in, these divining rods, they'll
it helps your brain make a better decision. Maybe that's the only thing we got.
It's
that's
fine.
the only
Fine,
thing it
use
is.
them, whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm over it.
So where did that myth come from?
What the
peeing on a
I think
jellyfish sting? Was that just some weirdo that came up with it and started spreading it around?
No, I think there's some science behind, like there's ammonia in your urine, and ammonia helps to neutralize the sting or the venom or whatever. Like the venom is in a jellyfish, ammonia can neutralize it. So if you had regular ammonia, I guess, that would work just as well.
Sam, are you putting in the chat room the exact opposite is true? Like you should not.
Well, it says it does not help, number one, at all. It doesn't do anything, but it could possibly, if you have a lot of sodium in your urine, it could actually make it worse.
Oh, like sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So it does
It
nothing.
could trigger the stingers to release.
I have
even
a,
Is
more
there
venom.
anything with
ton of
ammonia?
sodium. I have a ton of sodium in my urine because every meal I eat is from Hooters. They're the sodium.
It's
king.
all sodium.
Yeah, I do Hooters breakfast. I do a light Hooters lunch, and then I do a mammoth Hooters dinner.
I urinate a sodium stalagmite. In my
Yeah,
toilet.
straight sodium. Where do you think I get salt from for the house?
Is it stalactite or mite? And that goes upward. Anyway.
Wow. Wait,
so it doesn't do anything?
No.
We should be
Nothing?
We should do a
Nothing.
morning show called Tight and Mite in the morning.
So there's
We've been lied to. That's what I'm saying. Our whole lives we've been lied to.
Everything is
Everything's
a lie. Everything is a lie.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. No butler, but you knew that.
Yeah, on vacation.
Well, it's holiday vacation.
Actually,
The British guy celebrating Thanksgiving early.
I actually like it now. It's come full circle to the
Yeah.
point where I'm like, he's here. Oh, I wish he was on vacation.
I actually, this is not really a vacation for Butler because he's, I don't think he's too happy about
No.
flying across country for like one day
Like a
and then,
small child.
and then
Yeah.
flying back. Like,
the turnaround on this is horrifying. The turnaround is like a 30-minute turnaround.
Yeah, you fly to Seattle for 18 hours and fly back. It's like, man, I don't want to do that. That's not fun at all.
That flight, I mean, driving that, if you could break it up, would be kind of fun with your family. But flying that, if you don't stay, for me, this is just me.
Yeah.
I'm a bad flyer, you know this, but I'm better, and I'm positive about flights now. Like I'm happy to travel. I need 3 days in the place I'm going. If you take me that far, you got to give me 3 days to get prepared to fly again.
Dude, he told me that there are so many people traveling that every long-term parking space is full.
Yeah.
Like even the bark and pay, all the stuff down Cimarron.
All of it.
All of it's
When's
full.
the last
He
time you were
parked
down
it like
there?
a La Quinta.
Yeah,
when
he
is
had
the
to
last
pay
time-
$120 at a hotel
Yeah.
like that was near the
So
airport.
then he's got to Uber to the
When's
airport.
the last time you've been down there? 'Cause the only reason I know this, and it gives me an excuse to talk about my favorite restaurant down there, which is the Airport Hooters that me and my family go to. When you drive down there, the Hooters parking lot is slammed, not with people enjoying the delicious wings and atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's usually people going to the airport. It's slammed.
I mean, yeah, the more people are traveling than ever.
It's crazy.
Also, I heard a weird fact about turkeys that last year there were so many, like, because people are having small get-togethers, that everybody ordered so many small turkeys that they didn't eat the big turkeys from last year.
Never eat the big turkey.
And therefore, there's gigantic turkees this year.
Oh, those are old turkeys, though. I don't want
No.
those.
They're big, tough, big, tough, acidic, tough. The meat's acidic. You eat that meat, it'll burn your eyeballs. It's pungent. You know, I learned something. You mentioned turkeys, and I got to say this. Is our guest on the line?
Well, yeah. He's probably waiting. He's like,
Hey,
what's happening?
Mark,
Turkeys.
Mark, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm going to tell you something about turkeys that you probably don't know. Did you know, and my daughter taught me this, did you know you can tell the sex of a turkey by a turkey's poop?
I had no idea.
Okay, well, I'm going to learn you something before we start Weird Job.
Fixing to learn you.
If the turkey has a J-shaped poop, it is a male. If the turkey has a traditional, as my daughter described it, emoji plop of poop, it is a female. The larger the poop, the older the bird. Boom. Now you know. Weird Job Wednesday is up next.
All about it.
Tom wanted to do a bit.
That's
he
true.
Called it Weird Job Wednesday.
You can Google it if you want. Totally true.
Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you're looking for a mortgage or to refinance your house like me and Daniel did, just talk to Brian Zymel and his team. They will help you. Hundreds and hundreds of our BDMs have done it. Talk to any of them. They've had a great experience.
And one of the things you talk about, and just quickly, I'll just use myself as an example. Hillary works with Brian on the team.
Yes.
They will flag your if you're a client of theirs, they'll flag your file, and when it is time for them or when they think that they can best serve you, they will actually find you. I had Hillary call me 2 days ago, and I forgot I even told them, like, hey, get at me when you think it might be right for me to do something different. And Andrea wanted to do it. And Andrea, my wife, was on the phone with her for about 20 minutes, and they got everything sorted away. It's the easiest and best thing you can do right now.
Also, it doesn't cost you anything.
Nothing.
Plus, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 2 months when you refi, so you save
free
that.
money. I pretend it's free money.
And then you take some equity out, pay off from credit cards.
I do the same thing I do when I get money back from the government. When I get my tax money back.
Mark's on the line. How you doing,
back?
Mark?
Not a lot.
How's it going, Mark?
It's going pretty good.
There we go. All right.
Talking to you guys, can't get any better than that. It's awesome.
Man, this guy.
I love this guy.
You're about to get married, Mark.
So,
Ring on it. I'm ready for it.
Mark was referred to us by a BDM for a weird job.
Do we need to give a shout out to this listener and give him some love, or send him a?
Who told you about this, Mark?
Tracy Parody.
Shaky Parody?
Tracy.
Tracy Parody.
I don't know.
My poker player friend, Shaky Parody.
Nice, yeah.
So, Mark, what do you do for a living?
So I am a hot yoga instructor, and I own a studio.
Now, wait a minute. Are you a hot yoga instructor, or are you a hot yoga instructor?
Yes.
Yeah! More marks, less us. More marks.
So, Mark, let's get into the yoga.
Right.
How do you become a yoga instructor?
Well, first you have to have a couple years of doing like ultra distance running and ruin your body. And then you can try yoga for yourself and see if that actually works for you.
Okay, so
and then you kind of change your life.
So you were one of these guys, and we have one of these guys in Tom's family, where we have one of these guys that's like an ultra athlete, like
Iron Man.
Yeah, he's an Iron Man, and
but we got a BDM.
We have a BDM too,
Patrick, that does ultra distance running and ultra marathons. Had all his toenails removed.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Did you have that?
I had him fall off a couple times, but I never had him removed, purposely.
There's two. If you have no toenails though on your feet, on both feet, easier for footing. If you know what I mean.
Come on. So,
foot.
So, Mark, with the ultra distance running, you mentioned that it did a lot of damage to your body, and I've thought about this before. Like, my brother-in-law is an Iron Man or whatever, and like the amount of training he does, and it just looks like it's. We think of it as healthy in an environment of like exercise equals healthy, but this looks like it actually could do long-term damage because it's just so grueling and rigorous and the amount of miles.
So yes and no. I think if you're doing it right, you are doing okay, but I wasn't really doing it right. I was kind of just grinding every time, putting in the work, and just kind of trying to keep up with everybody else for a long time, couple years. And then after that, I kind of had to take a break because I just kind of wrecked myself. And so a friend of mine kind of recommended trying hot yoga. And when I first started, I was kind of ignorant about what yoga really was. I thought it was more like that spa yoga kind of stuff where it's very what people think about yoga, off the top of their head. Yeah. And so I went to the first class, and it was really, really, really challenging. I didn't make it through barely. And then, I kept at it, and a couple years later, I'm here.
So, Mark, because you're right about the stereotype of yoga, and I think most people...
most people think it's gay.
Well, they think it's easy.
And I mean the old terminology of that word when it meant things, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
when you meant hey, look, this is what girls and effeminate men do. No, that's what people think.
Right.
That's what
for real.
That's what they think. And I do yoga, so I can say that.
And it would be easily explained by people that work out understand what planking is, right? Core
that's when
workout.
You have to poop so bad you have to stick your legs out.
But it's getting on your forearms and straightening your body in a push-up pose and just staying still like that. Hard to do for over a minute, right? I mean, insanely difficult. And I feel like if people just described yoga as different forms of planking, it would be a lot of, like, I would understand it better.
Variations in planking.
Because that's hard. Like, anybody who's ever done that kind of exercise would realize, and that's what I look at yoga as, like, different forms of planking and holding poses that is ultra hard.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like hard
absolutely.
standing.
Absolutely. And in the system of yoga that we teach, it's very like that as well. It's very like, you come into posture, you hold posture for a duration, you come back out of the posture, and you be still for a moment or two. And we do that, in a 105-degree room. It's 105 degrees. It's 90 minutes long, all that, and it's really intense. It's like strength and flexibility at the same time. You're building both those things.
Well, Mark,
not just like stretching.
I was going to ask you about the hot part of the hot yoga. Why in a like super hot sauna-like environment?
A couple of reasons. One, it really kind of helps just open up the muscles up a lot. Your muscles are warm. You're going to get deep in the postures without like overstretching things or pulling on things. And also, too, it's really like whole body detox. You sweat buckets and buckets and buckets, and it's super good for you. Like it's all around, inside out.
So,
are there any drawbacks to doing it though? Like, can you, I guess, do hot yoga too much to a point where maybe, are you advised to keep it like regimented to like maybe 2 times, 3 times a week, something like that?
When I first started doing my training, I was going every day for like, 6-7 months, like just straight going for it. I think like yoga is something you can do like every day, because you just kind of work at your own pace. If one day you're feeling like kind of things like, okay, I'm not really feeling this too much, you just keep off a little bit. There's the only competition you have is with yourself. There's no egos, no competition. We're all there on our mats, looking at ourselves in the mirror, putting in the work. So, but I think too, like if anything, it can be, if you're doing the wrong way, just like with ultra running, it's like it can be adverse effects to you.
Huh. That is crazy.
Mark, explain to me the detox part, because like I don't understand biology, obviously, but I was under the impression that your kidneys and your liver or whatever, like mainly your kidneys, though,
detoxify your
filter out all the toxins, and then it basically gets released in your urine, and that's where you're getting rid of all the toxins. That's why when your kidneys stop working, they build up the bad stuff in your body. You get poisoned. But can you sweat it out?
Oh, absolutely. So your skin is like one of the largest kind of type of organs in the body. So you have all the surface area, but all your sweat glands, all your lymphatic system goes through the skin and the sweat. So as you build up heat, because in yoga practice, you kind of get like a lot of internal heat. So it feels like you're not doing a lot in the way of moving your body, but you start getting like really heat up from the inside, and you sort of sweat like tons and tons and tons. And like actually, kind of weird, a little fun fact, like if you do hot yoga a lot, you just don't stink anymore. Like nobody stinks because like you're pretty much cleaned out. Like. Pretty
hold on. Okay, now, the analogy I'm thinking of it makes sense to me, but when you say like you're completely cleaned out, it makes me think of like when a shrimp is cleaned. Like in a shrimp, you can see its duty track.
Yeah. Exactly.
because you're constantly sweating and that thing's always in use, right? Because most people, let's be honest, the goal is to not sweat, right? Especially if you have a day job, an inside job, something like that. Now, you roofers and your construction guys and landscapers, you don't need to listen to this part. But everybody else, the goal is to not sweat, right? So, what you're doing is that you're sweating so much that your shrimp doo-doo track is always clean. Always clean.
You're cleaned out for sure. Absolutely.
Also, Mark, I would assume, everything that
I have the best analogies, by
everything that ancient humans used to do is more natural to how we should live, right?
Well, they didn't have any of the unnatural stuff.
Like, we evolved over hundreds of thousands of years, and then only recently did we enter in societies and communities and things where now we're eating all these processed foods and farmed foods, and we're not doing what we evolved to do, which is hunted and gather and work out a lot and sweat a lot. So I imagine that now, since we live in communities that, like Daniel said, we try normally not to sweat unless you're like exercising or whatever, that by not sweating for long periods of time could actually be bad for you because we've evolved to sweat all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because natural human, humans 100,000 years ago would just sweat all day because you're working hard all day. So
it probably wasn't even looked at like the way we look at sweat.
So by not sweating, we're just holding in a certain amount of...
Makes sense to me.
Whatever you may call it, just like toxins. Even though
one more part of that, I would say, is almost like a motorcycle or something like that. When you don't use it, let's just take your sweat glands or your skin.
Yeah, it builds up stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I would imagine, and this is no science behind it. I'm just using logic. If I'm not using the top of my skin, and all I'm doing is bathing it with I don't know whatever, and then keeping it ice cold all day, big fat chair all day long, never moving, only chilling it all. That does not sound appetizing to me. It sounds like maybe I'm going to blow those pores out a little bit with some sweat.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
blow these pores out.
I like what you said about like the old ancient stuff becoming like what's coming more popular today. Because there's a lot of studies out there too where it has where yoga practice, yoga studies, and science are kind of coming together, kind of proving that some of these things are pretty much right. It comes to the breathing exercises and what it does to your body. The health benefits of these postures. Because prior to I don't know the past 100 years, we started doing the yoga in a classroom together. Everybody did the same postures over and over again with each other. But before that, it was prescriptive. You go to your teacher, your guru, and he prescribes you a series of postures for you. That's what I had diabetes, my back hurts, and they would tell you do these postures for that. So now,
that's cool.
So now we kind of do all together in one classroom, all the same. So the Bikram series is kind of like a prescription. It's like the multivitamin penicillin of yoga. It's it accommodates a wide range of ailments everybody has. That's why everybody can kind of do the postures together all in one classroom setting.
I want to talk about one thing in yoga that's weird for me, because I try a lot of yoga. I'm not going to sit here and say I do a lot of yoga because it's laughable when you see me do yoga, but I will say I try it a lot. And I'm really bad at it. How long do you think it will take me to get to a point where I feel comfortable doing a real yoga flow? And what I mean by that, Tom, because I don't know if you know that, but there's different moves, and I guess the flow, and obviously our guest can explain it better, is sort of connecting all the movements. So let's say I'm in one, and I want to come out of that movement into the next one. Where I break down is the transition from one pose to the next.
It's not smooth.
I'm not strong enough. Yeah, it's not smooth. I'm not strong enough. I fall over, or I'm shaky. I got to use my blocks to balance me up. How long does it take, or is that a forever journey, almost like jiu-jitsu?
Well, let me ask you this: what does good at yoga mean?
Right. I know it's kind of a silly question.
Yeah, because
I just feel like I can never get past. I've never completed a yoga class where I was I made every posture go into the next. I've never been able to do that. Ever.
So it's not really about the yoga itself. People get caught up in a lot how they look in the postures, how they look in it. And it's not really about that. It's about if you're moving the body in the right direction the posture requires, you're using the right muscles and doing the right parts of the body to make the purpose of the posture, getting the health benefit of it. So if you can't bring your forward to your knee, you reach your forward to your knee as far as you can. You're still doing the posture right.
Right.
Yeah. So,
no, I get what you're saying. The other thing that I ask, and there is no answer for this, is that why do they make the thing that I need the most the hardest and strangest? I think you and I would benefit more from yoga and meditation than any other exercise we could ever give ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I honestly believe in this job that we do, we prescribed ourselves daily yoga and meditation, that in 1 year's time we'd come back and we'd be like, holy crap, look at how much better, but it's so hard. And it's not
hard because we don't really take time for ourselves anymore. We're always on the go, hustle and bustle. So even just being still for 20 minutes even just to do a little bit of meditation is very hard for people to do. We don't we can't stay still anymore. So that's the purpose of a practice too, is just being still, taking time to be still. And in classroom, when we're laying on the floor in Savasana, that's the hardest part of class sometimes for people, is being still.
You wouldn't be able to do Savasana.
Well,
which is really just laying on your back, right?
Yeah, just laying on your back.
It's literally the poses, Tom. You just lay on your back. That's it. But I have found myself being so uncomfortable in that pose because I'm like, I got to get up and check my phone, which is stupid.
Well, going back to emulating ancient human, right? Ancient human would have been still a lot of parts of the day. First, because think about it, we're like other animals. You don't want to waste your energy for no reason, so you want to to be still if you can be, and then if you're hunting, you're super still, just sitting waiting, and then right. and you're doing bursts of energy.
It's definitely like 0 to 60 in your most.
So, Mark, I'm sorry to get childish here, but I got to ask you a question because one of the most
Mark's super
Don't
cool.
embarrass
I
me.
think he'll be fine.
Well, one of the most awkward parts of thinking, I've never taken a yoga class, but first, I don't like camaraderie where I'm in
hands to the middle. We're gonna everybody yell yoga on 3.
Well, I don't think.
Yeah.
Is there because yoga does seem like you just go into the class, everybody's quiet, you don't talk to anybody, and no one's putting their hands in the middle.
It's like stretching golf. It's a singular thing. Stretching golf is what I call it.
Yeah. And so I like that part, but the other part, the being in a classroom full of people, especially now you're adding heat. And I've heard, the joke about the people farting. How often does that happen? And does anybody acknowledge it? Because I get extra awkward and no one says anything.
So my yoga journey, I pretty much heard like every single kind of body function you can possibly imagine in that studio. So it just depends on kind of people don't really they ignore it unless the person who dealt it is kind of like looking around like somebody hear me. That kind of thing, but it's kind of part of the process. You're pushing your stuff around your belly and your colon and stuff, and something's bound to kind of release.
Yeah, I always.
There's actually a posture. It's actually a posture called wind removing posture, where you kind of press into your belly, and that's pretty much what it does. It removes gas.
I'm
doing that right now. I'm doing the wind releasing. I prefer to call it. I prefer to call it pungent eagle. Is the pose?
Nice.
It's the pungent eagle pose.